الله العلي العظيم في كتابه الكريم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ووصى بها إبراهيم وبنيه ويعقوب يا بني إن الله اصطفى لكم الدين فلا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. صدق الله العلي العظيم. Tonight, our topic is about the importance of Wasiyya, writing a will before we depart from this world. Now, there is one of the misconceptions which runs in our mind for the most part as a Muslims, that many often when we talk about remembering death, we think the more you think about death, the sooner you're going to die. That's misconception. Or the other misconception is when we talk about writing a will, people think when you write a will, that means you're going to die in the next week or next month. But that's not the case. But the matter is, writing a will is one of the important things Islam encourages to do. And this will, by the rule in Islam, is mustahab. Any person is mustahab to write a will. But this rule can change from mustahab to wajib. You know some rules in Islam can change at any time. Certain rules by nature is mustahab. But the rule can change when the circumstances changes. Example, getting married is mustahab. It's a sunnah. But sometimes getting married can become wajib. When? Now, in the normal circumstance, getting married is mustahab. But if I came in the situation where I'm afraid I might fall into haram, then it becomes wajib for you to do to protect yourself from falling into haram. That the rule in the beginning is mustahab. Now, the same thing applies to writing a will. And the normal circumstances, a person, a Muslim, to write a will is mustahab. But when the circumstances changes, the rule becomes wajib. And in my opinion, many of us living in America, to write a will is wajib, not a mustahab anymore. Some of us might be mustahab, but for many of us, it becomes wajib. Now, question, when does writing a will changes from mustahab to wajib? The moment there is a haqq of anybody on your neck. Can I repeat one more time? When does it become wajib? The moment you or I owe someone, then it becomes wajib. And you know what I'm taking this to, right? Mortgage comes in. How many of us don't have mortgage in America? Or car loans, or student loan? All of this changes the rule from mustahab to wajib. That the moment you owe someone something, it becomes wajib to put it in writing. And that is how the rule changed from mustahab to wajib. Now, I don't owe anybody anything. Then it becomes still what? Mustahab for you. Now, this will, whether it's mustahab, Islam encourage every mu'min to have their will written. To the point where Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam, Allahumma sallam, said that any mu'min should not go to bed. A mu'min shouldn't go to bed unless his will is under his pillow. Before I go to bed, I have to make sure that the pillow underneath, there is what? There is a will written. Now, this will is that important that Rasulullah says a mu'min who refuse or doesn't have a will, as a naqasa fi muruwwati, he loses the dignity. Why? Because that is how important writing will is. Now, to understand this concept, the ayah we just read in Surah Al-Baqarah, Allah tells you that not just you and I, even the prophet who came before us, they also didn't leave this world until they made sure that the will is written. Who are they? Number one, Ibrahim alayhi salam, Abul Anbiya. And not only that, Shaykh al-Anbiya, Ibrahim alayhi salam, where Quran says, وَوَصَّى إِبْرَاهِيمُ بَنِيهِ. That Ibrahim alayhi salam, before he left this world, he made sure that a will was written. Ibrahim alayhi salam is great prophet. Wassa, Allah said he wrote a will. Al-Wasiyya is to write a will for something before your death. Wassa Ibrahim bani, all his children. Now Ibrahim alayhi salam, we know for sure he had two sons. One is Ismail, one is Ishaq alayhi salam. He said before he departed this world, Ibrahim made sure the will was written and his two sons were to execute that will. Now, anybody else? Allah said, not just Ibrahim, his grandson too. Who? Yaqub. Allah said, Yaqub alayhi salam, who happened to be the father of Yahud or Jews, he also didn't die unless he wrote his will. And Quran says they both reminded their children, Ya Baniya, Inna Allah astafa lakum ad-din. To my children, remember one thing that Allah have honored you with. What is it? Allah had honored you by choosing this special religion to you. And this is called al-wasiyya fi ad-din. Because a will is two parts. One is called al-wasiyya fi ad-din, and the other one is called al-wasiyya fil mal. Al-wasiyya fi ad-din means what? Things that related to religion. Haram, halal. Right? Now, then there is al-wasiyya fil mal. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said about it in many places in Quran, in Surah An-Nisa, إن ترك خيرا الوصية للوالدين والأقربين. That when a person, before you die, if you are living money, إن ترك خير, al-khair means money. Allah says خيرا الوصية, put it in writing. Why? Because the least you can expect, right? If you don't leave a will, you live in trouble after your death. You know, money, mashallah, is a blessing. But it can be also the source of problems too. Right? How do you solve this? When everything is written clearly. Where the children know, the father or the mother have wrote everything clearly. What needs to be done? Who gets what? Who takes what? Who executes what? Then it's easy to minimize the problem after that. That's why Quran says, إن ترك خيرا. Al-khair means money. الوصية للوالدين والأقربين. And that's called الوصية في المال. Now, الوصية في الدين mean what? In religion. That's not what the وصية في الدين. Now, this وصية في الدين, many often we neglect it. But it's a blessing that Islam has come up with this وصية في الدين. What does it mean وصية في الدين? It's to write how you want things to be done in your death. What does it mean? You know, Islam is so beautiful that Islam tells you that before I die, before we die, there are many things need to be done. But you get to choose who to do it for you. How? Number one, you know, when we are in that moment called Sakarat al-Maut, at that time we cannot decide for ourselves. Many things happen at that point. Now, at that point, what do you want to be done for you? Islam tells you things can be done for you. What? For example, at that moment, the first important thing is called talqeen. You know, many of the time we think talqeen is after death. All right? And we forget that talqeen starts where? At the time of Sakarat al-Maut. So for that matter, there are 3 talqeens in Islam. 1 at the time of death, 1 after death, 1 after burial. 3 talqeens. Now, who do I want to do talqeen before I die? That's my choice to choose who I want to do that. That is the first one. Number 2, there are certain rules at that time of sakarat which is recommended to be done. Who do I want to do it for me? Example, facing me towards the Qibla. That's my right. Who do I want to face me towards the Qibla? In that process of death. That's number 2. Number 3, who do I want to lead my janazah? That is your right to choose that. Now, who do I want to wash my body? That is your right to choose that. Now, today I can choose and write in my will. When I die, I want A, B, C to do the washing of my body. 1. 2, I don't want this person to come. It's your right, you can do that. والزهراء سلام الله عليها صلى على محمد. Fatima Zahra, she did that. She told Imam Ali, Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, I don't want that person to come to my funeral. She said that. And Imam Ali honored that. Because that is her right. She can make that decision. Who do you want to come and who you don't want to come? That's your right. Now, if you don't write of what you want, then anybody can come. In many cases, people you may not even want them to touch your body, they will be the one to even carry and do everything for you. But then who to be blamed? It's me, because I didn't write that in my will. And that is why al-wasiyya fi din is important. Now, not only for ghusl, who do I want to lead my janazah, my salatul janazah? Who do I want to pray? I can choose that. I want this person to read. I don't want that person to read my salatul janazah. That's your choice to make that at the time that you're alive. Now, not only that, after my ghusl, after my salat, who do I want to carry my body and put me in the grave? I can choose that as a person. I want this person to be the one putting me in the grave. I don't want that person to be in my funeral. I don't want that person to touch me while I'm being put in the grave. You all have that right to put that in writing. Now, after that, during my being in the grave, when they read talqeen, who do I want to read my talqeen? You can choose that as a Muslim. You have that right. Now, after I'm covered in the grave, who do I want to read my last talqeen? It's you to choose that who you want to. All of this, Islam gave you the right to make that choice. Now, either what we call use it or lose it. Now, if you don't make it, if you don't write it, then you do what? Then you lost it after death. Then what happened? Then it goes to the next person called Waliyul Mayyit. Who's Waliyul Mayyit? If it's a son, the father gets to make that decision. If it's a wife, also then the wife gets to make that decision. Right? If it's any person who is, let's say, brothers, then the older brother can make the decision. But if you put it in writing, then everybody has to honor that. That is called al-wasiyya fil din. Now, not only that, after my death, what do I want to be done? Majlis tarhim. Siyom, arba'in. I want this person to read the majlis. I don't want that person to read. That's your choice to make at that point. All this decision can be made at that time by your choice of any person you want. But that's called al-wasiyya fil din. Now, the second one is called al-wasiyyatu fil mal. This is where it becomes very dangerous. Al-wasiyya fil mal, meaning when it comes to money. This is divided into 4. Number 1, it is called al-huquq al-mali or al-wajib al-mali. Al-wajib al-mali, what does it mean? When we want to write a will, the first important thing we have to take care of is called wajib al-mali. You know, in Islam, money is one of the top priorities. Money is very priority. And I'm going to say that even in Islam, to understand how money is so precious in Islam, when you come in the Quran, right, the longest ayah in the Quran is the ayah that talks about money. It's called Ayatul Dain. The last pages of Surah Al-Baqarah, the longest ayah in the Quran is about money and loan. Not only that, when you come into the fiqh, our maraja, what do they say? They said there is a rule called Qa'idatul Hilliyya. Meaning what? Everything in Islam is considered halal until it's proven otherwise. What does it mean? I see something, is it halal? Islam says yes, it's halal. Until it's proven to be haram. I see something, is it tahir or najis? I say treat it as tahir until it's proven the najis. But there are three things is other way around. It's called exception. Right? Everything is halal except a proven haram. Except three things, they are considered haram until it's proven to be halal. What are the three things? Number one is dima, blood. What does it mean? Meaning, for example, am I allowed to kill this person? Islam says no, it's haram to kill the person until it's proven that it's halal. Because Islam is particular when it comes to blood, life. So you are not allowed to consider killing somebody is halal until proven haram. No, it's the other way around. Is killing someone is haram until you prove that it's halal to kill them. That's called al-ihtiyat fi dima. That's number one. Number two, it's called al-furuj. Spouses. Now, this woman is halal for me. Islam says no, it's haram until it's proven that she's your wife. Is this man halal for me? They say no, it's haram until it's proven that she is your halal. That is number two. Number three is called amwal, money. I see money. The halal money, can I take it? Islam says no, it's haram until it's proven that it's halal for you. That is how Islam takes money. It's that important. So money is the first in line, and it's called wajibul mali. Anything related to money must be put in the will as the first in line. What does it mean? This money, wajibul mali, is divided into two. One is called haqqullah. Haqqullah means what? Al-khums I have not paid. I have to make sure that I wrote that in the will. First in line. That's number one. Number two, zakat I own. A zakat was wajib on me at some point. I haven't paid. It must be put in writing. And this is important that nothing can be given to anyone unless those amwal is taken care of first. Now, not only that, what if we pay the zakat and khums and nothing for the children? They say that's how it's supposed to be. Even if the children will be left with nothing, haqqullah must be taken care of. That is haqqullah. So the first is huququllah, al-mali, anything. For example, khums, zakat, nadhr. I vow to Allah to do something. Say, Ya Allah, if you help me to get a job, I will give $1,000 sadaqah, for example. Right? I got the job, but I will pay the money. Right? That is also haqqullah that must be taken from the first. That is called haqqullah. That's number one. Number two, and it's called huququl ibad. Huququl ibad, I owe somebody. Someone, credit cards, right? Oh, we all have credit card bills. I took a credit card and I owe $1,000 on that card. I have to write in my will, I owe such company this amount of money, and those company also, in case I die before paying them, I have to make sure that whatever I have should be paid in that money. That is huququl ibad. Not only that, huquq al-mal, I took money, loan from a person, $1, $2, I have to make sure that that money is returned back to the person. That's called huququl ibad al-mal. Money comes first. That has to be written and clearly. Now, even hukuk al-ibad, even if let's say we pay that to the person, it wouldn't be left anything for the children, so be it. That comes first. That is number one, and it's called al-wajib al-mali. Number two, it's called al-wajib al-mali wal-badani. Al-wajib al-mali wal-badani. It's a wajib that I have upon me, and it involves two things. One, money spent, and the body also is involved as well. What does it mean, wajib al-mali and badani? The best example of wajib al-mali and badani is Hajj. Because Hajj, there are two things involved. One is money to spend, ticket, visa, airport, transportation, food, and on top of that also, somebody has to be there to do tawaf, to do sa'i, all of that. So it's called badani and mali. What does that mean? If a person at some point, Hajj was wajib, but they didn't go. They kept postponing, inshallah next year. Then the next year comes, inshallah the next year. And then they die before they're able to go to Hajj. Then that Hajj still wajib on their neck, that before we give anything to the children or to those who inherit it, we have to take that money for Hajj first. And it's called wajibul mali wal badani. That is number two. Number three, and it's called wajibul badani. Wajibul badani is different than the first two. Wajibul badani is the wajib that only involves body, not the money. Example, salat. Example, fasting. Now, this wajibul badani, Islam said to any one of us, when the time of death approaches you or me, Islam said, I put hand on your wealth. 1/3 of it, you cannot mess up with it. Allahu Akbar. 1/3. Islam says, you, 2/3, you cannot mess up with it. Only 1/3 is yours at the time of death. Now, when I'm healthy, everything is fine, Islam says you can do whatever you want to do with it. Until the time of death, Islam said, 2/3 you cannot touch. 1/3, do whatever you want to do with it. Now, within that 1/3, if a person is smart, you say, okay, let me take advantage of 1/3 that I have. What do? In that 1/3, you can tell your children, within my 1/3, I want you to hire someone to pray my salat that I missed. And it's called Salatul Ijar. Or fasting I missed, I can use from 1/3 to tell my children to hire somebody to do it on my behalf. And this is the best way to do it, brothers and sisters. Many of us say, okay, it's wajib upon my older son. All right, yes. But what guarantee do you have that he's going to do it for you? What guarantee do you have it? Okay, if you have guarantee, yes. But if you don't have guarantee, the best way to secure your barzakh is for you yourself from 1/3, write it, from my 1/3, I want this amount allocated for somebody to pray my salat that I missed. I missed such amount of fasting. I want from this 1/3 somebody to be hired to pay that. That is called al-wajibul badani. Now, if you don't, the children, they have two options. One option, they can say, okay, we will take from 1/3 to give to them somebody to pray on behalf of our Father. All right? But even this, how much guarantee do you have? Let me share with you a story which happened in Nigeria here, in Africa. A man was very wealthy, very wealthy. He died suddenly. He died on heart attack, died. Everything was on sudden. Nobody was expecting. And he had 4 or 5 sons. After his death, they started fighting each other. Who's going to get this car? Who's going to get that sheep? Who's going to get this? They started fighting. The fight ended up going to the court. When they went to the court was involved to see how much property he left, how much money he left, and then you'll see how to divide it equally, so there's no fight among the children. While the court was in session, the friend of the father came into the court. And he said, look, this deceased is my friend. We work together, business partners. But before he died, I gave him amount of money for business that you're going to take it, it's going to give me back. But then he died before this. The court said, okay, but do you have anything in writing? He said, no. Was there anybody heard you and him talking about this? He said, no. Then the judge said, I'm sorry, I can't guarantee you that. Because the only way I can do that if you have it in writing. Then that's a proof. Oh no, somebody heard it. You have a witness. That's fine. But no witness, no paper. And you're telling me you will give him money, and the money is a large sum too. How can I guarantee that? I can't. Then the man said to the judge, okay, why don't you ask the children? Maybe they know me, and they know I've been doing business with their father for so long. So maybe the children will understand to give me my money. Then the judge said, okay, I'll talk to them. If they offer, I'll guarantee you that. They called all the children, the 5 of them, said, look, do you know this man? So of course, yes, it's our father's friend. Come to home every time. We know he's a business friend. They were working together all these years. So okay. He claimed your father took money from him, these millions and millions of this money, and he want the money back. So, are you willing to allow me as a judge to grant him that money? What do you think they're going to say? Of course not. Now, they all said, yes, he's our father's friend. They all agreed he was making business with them. Yes, they all agree that. But they are not willing to give that money to them, to somebody. Because now it's their money. They want it in their pocket. Right? So the judge said, I'm going to ask you one by one. Right? If all of you say no, then that's it. Sorry, I can't grant you. Your money is at loss. You ask the first one, are you willing to give the money? He said, nope. The second one, nope. The third one, nope. The fourth one, nope. The fifth one. He said, yes. He said, you willing to give that money to him? I said, yes. I know him. My father's friend. And I know he has been doing business with my father for years since we were children. And I know he wouldn't lie to take money from my dad. He said, okay. But they say, all of these 4 said no. So what are we going to do? The all 4 said, look, if he said no, then you have to give his portion to him, not our portion. The boy said, I agree. When they make the calculation, his portion will be more, everything he will get will go to that man. Are you willing to do that? He said, yes, I'm willing to do that. To give everything that you're going to get from your father, you're giving to his friend because your father took the loan? He said, yes, I'm giving everything. He said, okay. The court wrote everything that his portion is going to go to that man. And the other 4, they'll get their portion separate. The court settled everything. Before they leave, everybody leave, a man took his son up. He said, look, Judge, I have something to say. He said, what is it? Yes. Who are you? He said, I'm also a business partner of these 3 people. The deceased and this man and myself. We're 3. He said, do you owe the deceased son? He said, no, I don't owe him anything. And he doesn't owe me anything either. But I came to the court as a witness to see what is happening. I said, okay. Now what do you want to say? He says, I am amazed by this son. I said, what do you mean you're amazed by the son? He said, I'm amazed the decision he made to take his money to give it to his father's owner, the one who owns his father. I said, okay. So what do you mean? I said, yes, what I mean is, I am really appreciative to him, and I want to honor him something. So what is it? I said, whatever he gave to the man, I want to give him triple of that. Why? To encourage such children to stand after their father to do the right thing. And I want you, George, to witness that. Mind what I said right now. I want you to write triple of what he gave. I'm giving it from my wealth as a gift because he did the right thing to pay for his father's debt. And the court was filled with the silence. Because this son was the only one to do the right thing by his father. And remember, this money, they didn't work for it. It's for their father. But they are not willing to give it for their father. Now, the point I'm bringing this story is to let us understand that if you think after you die, your children will do the right thing, then good luck with that. If you think your children, mashallah, because you're alive, they will do the right thing, may Allah bless them. But the best thing to do is what? Put everything you want into writing how you want it while you're still alive. That is to secure your own barzakh while you're gone. And that is what's called al-wajibul badani. If there's any missing salat, make sure that you authorize somebody to do it. You allocate the money for that person to do it. That is called al-wajibul badani. That's number 3. Number 4, and it's called al-hiba al-amma. Al-hiba al-amma means what? General things you want to do. General things. Example, I want from my wealth to build sadaqah jariyah, a masjid somewhere. I want to build a water fountain somewhere. I want to build Hussainiyya somewhere. I want to build Imam Barga somewhere. I have to allocate that money for that project, and I'm allowed to give it as I wish. That's called hiba al-am. Now, not only that, al-hiba al-am can also be within my own children. I want to give one child more than what he deserves from the Islamic point of view. Can I do that? Yes, you can. How? From my 1/3, I can allocate more to a daughter or son or 2 or more if I want to. Now, not only that, from 1/3, I want to give to any person, a friend, a brother, a father, anybody. I want to give more. Islam allows you to do that. And it's called al-hiba al-amma, general gift that you want to give to anybody you want. This is what we call al-wasiyya fil mal. Now, after you write, Islam says there is something called al-musala. Who to execute that? You have to pick that person too. And some scholars, they recommended 2 people. 2 people to be the one to execute that will. And those who you appoint to execute the will, they have some rules and conditions in Islam. Number 1, they have to be baligh. Number 2, they have to be sane. Number 3, they also have to be adil, to execute whatever you leave behind. That is the rule of how to execute. But tonight, we want to see what was the will of Imam Hussain on the day of Ashura. You know, every Imam that we have never left this world unless he wrote his will. From Imam Ali alayhi salam, his will can be found in Nahj al-Balagha. He wrote every details about what needs to be done. Imam al-Hasan, the same thing. Imam al-Hussain, every Imam. But Imam Hussain alayhi salam, his will went to 2 people. One was with Imam Ali ibn al-Hussain, Imam Zayd al-Abidin. There was a will that he told him what to do and how to do things. The other will was to Zainab salamullahi alayhi. And tonight, I just want to emphasize the Zainab part. Imam Hussain alayhi salam, he had a will to Zainab alayhi salam. Told her what to do. But what did he tell Zainab alayhi salam? on the night of Ashura and the day of Ashura. Zainab alayhi salam, from the night of Ashura, she heard Imam Hussain was mourning for himself. The night of Ashura, before the day of Ashura, Imam Hussain was sitting crying, talking about what's going to happen on the day of Ashura. Zainab alayhi salam, she came to him. She said, Ya akhi, araka tan'a nafsak. I can see that you're mourning yourself. What happened? And Imam Hussain alayhi salam, that is when he sat Zainab alayhi salam. And he started to tell her his will. Say, Ya Zainab, I'm crying not for me and my martyrdom. I'm crying لطول وقوفك غدا, for your long stand tomorrow. What does he mean, long stand? You and I cannot even imagine. After the martyrdom of Hussain, you know how much they put them under the sun while they were dividing the heads of shuhada, and then after that had them to walk from Karbala to Kufa. Then after that, taking them in the sun from Kufa all the way to Sham. Zainab alayhi salam, I said, I'm crying for that long stand that you're going to go through. Not only that, I said, Zainab alayhi salam, I said, after my martyrdom, there won't be any man to stand next to you, Ya Zainab. Zainab, you have to be the voice of man. Zainab, there will be so much you two have to handle it on your own after my martyrdom. So not only that, Zainab, there was more I want you to do. What is it? I say, Ya Zainab, I want you to take care of those orphans. Who are those orphans? I say, Sakina. Those children, because Imam Zain al-Abidin salamullah alayh wouldn't have that enough strength to take care of what he needs to be taken care of on that day. So what? All that responsibility will fall on your shoulder, Ya Zainab salamullah alayk. Ya Zainab, you take care of those children. Ya Zainab, what else? I said, Zainab alayhi salam, I want you to do things also for me. What is it? I said, when you do Salat al-Layl, remember Hussain and your 40 mu'mineen. Allahu Akbar. Zainab salamullahi alayha, Imam Hussain alayhi salam is asking Zainab, I say, Ya Zainab, my will to you is that after my martyrdom, when you do Salat al-Layl, remember me and those 40 mu'mineen. Allahu Akbar. What else? Zainab, not only that. He says, Zainab, I want you to remember one thing. What is it? He said, I want you to remember our mother and what she went through. And that will help to calm you down for every tragedy that you're going to encounter. Because Zainab salamullahi alayha, she is what we call Ummul Masa'ib, the mother of all tragedies. She went through so much. And one of the worst tragedy of Zainab alayhi salam is for her to see her own children being killed in front of her eyes. That on the day of Ashura, Zainab salamullahi alayha, she told her two sons, Aun and Muhammad, she said, tomorrow you know what's going to happen, right? They say, yes, we know. What is going to happen? They said, we know it's going to be martyrdom. They're going to be fight. Then she said to them, my sons, what are you planning to do tomorrow? They said, we want to fight next to our uncle Imam Hussain alayhi salam. You know, Zainab alayhi salam, she gave them better words. She said, no, don't say you're going to fight. What should we say? It says, say you want to brighten your mother's face in front of your grandma Zahra alayhi salam. I said, you're going to, when you do what you do, I said, you're going to brighten my face in front of my mother Zahra alayhi salam. And on the day of Ashura, all those men went to the battlefield, one after the other. All the shuhada was brought to the tent. Zainab will look and she doesn't see Aun and Muhammad. She looked out the side and she saw them sitting there. She called them, why are you still here? They say, because our uncle Hussain wouldn't allow us to go to the battlefield. She ran to Imam Hussain, Ya Aba Abdullah, why are you not allowing my sons to go to the battlefield? Then Imam Hussain alayhi salam, Ya Zainab, when I look at them, they remind me about their father. And they are so young that I don't think they deserve to go and get killed in this battlefield. Whenever I look at Aoun and Muhammad, they remind me about their father. So please let them stay. Zainab alayhi salam, she said, Ya Aba Abdullah, you gave Ali al-Asghar, who is the infant, and you are not allowing my sons to go to the battlefield. La wallah, Ya Aba Abdullah, I want them to go and brighten my face in front of our mother Zahra. Imam Hussain alayhi salam finally allowed them. Abu al-Fadl Abbas was the one who taught them how to fight and the techniques of the battlefield. They were able to get to the battlefield and fought and fought and fought. Finally, Aoun and Muhammad were overpowered. As they were fallen, guess who they call? They call their uncle Aba Abdullah. Assalamu alayka ya Amma. Peace be upon you, our uncle. Imam Hussain alayhi salam rushed towards them. As he came and he found Aoun and Muhammad in their final moment, he grabbed them, one on his right hand, the other one on the left, looking at them right and left while they were in that final moment. And then Aoun said to Aba Abdullah, I said, please can you send salam to our mother Zainab salamullahi alayha. Imam Hussain alayhi salam said, sure, I will send you a salam to your mother Zainab. Then he said, also, can you ask her one question? What is the question, Ya Aoun? I said, can you ask her if we did brighten her face in front of Zahra, his mother alayhi salam? You know, that words couldn't, Imam Hussain alayhi salam couldn't handle that word. He busted into tears and he said to them, Ya Aoun, Ya Muhammad, yes indeed you brightened the face of your mother Zainab salamullahi alayha. But the worst part is after their martyrdom, Imam Hussain picked them, then he took them to the tent. Zainab salamullahi alayha, when she saw them, when they were brought to her, her strategy was different than every shaheed. This time when she looked at her two sons, she turned towards the Kaaba, she raised her hand and she said, Allahumma taqabbal minna hadha al-qurban. She said, Ya Allah, accept this sacrifice from us, Ya Rabb. After that, Zainab salamullahi alayha, she then turned, she did 2 rakah prayer. What was the 2 rakah prayer? She was not mourning like she does with all the shuhada, to say to Allah, Allahumma shukran laka ala an a'taytana hadhihi al-fadila. Ya Allah, thank you for giving us this honor. What's the honor? That our children were to be killed with the Aba Abdullah al-Hussain. Zainab salamullahi alayha, every shaheed that will be brought to her, she will cry and mourn, but except Aoun and Muhammad, she never cried for them because she believed that they brightened the face, her face in front of Zahra alayhi salam. Inna lillah wa inna ilayhi raji'un. وسيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون والعاقبة للمتقين. إلهنا نسألك وندعوك بأحب الخلق إليك بمحمد وعلي وفاطمة والحسن والحسين والتسعة المعصومين من ذرية الحسين. فرج عنا فرجا عاجلا قريبا كلمح البصر أو هو أقرب من ذلك. Ya Allah, we ask you for the sake of this majlis, these tears. Ya Allah, those sick mu'mineen and mu'minat. Ya Allah, we ask you for the sake of Marid Karbala, Imam Zain al-Abidin, give shafa'a to all mu'mineen and mu'minat, Ya Rabb al-Alameen. All difficulties, Ya Allah, make it easy for all mu'mineen and mu'minat, Ya Rabb.